I found the texts where my girlfriend told my dad I'm coming over to sit on your lap while I was asleep in the next room. The screen of my father's phone lit up on the granite kitchen counter, and for a split second, I considered ignoring it. We were halfway through a quiet family Saturday at his beach house in the Hamptons, and my dad, Stephen, had stepped out to the deck to take a work call. My girlfriend of 3 years, Elena, was upstairs supposedly taking a nap because she'd been feeling under the weather all morning. I was just reaching for a bottle of water when the notification banner popped up. It didn't have a name, just a black heart emoji. The message read, "The little prince finally fell asleep. I'm coming over to sit on your lap and let you take care of me like you did last Tuesday." My heart didn't just drop, it felt like it stopped beating entirely. Little Prince was a joke between Elena and me. A playful jab she used whenever I crashed early after a long shift at the hospital. I felt a cold, oily sweat break out across my forehead. I knew his passcode had used the same 4 digits since I was 10 years old. My thumbs were shaking so violently I mistyped it twice. But when the screen finally slid open to their message thread, the world as I knew it ceased to exist. I scrolled up, my eyes burning as I read months of coordinated betrayal. It wasn't just a physical affair, it was a psychological assassination. Elena and my father had been systematic. There were texts from 3 months ago, back when Elena and I were still living together in our city apartment. She had messaged him at midnight on a Tuesday. "He's out cold. The guest room door is unlocked. Make sure you leave before his 6 a.m. alarm." My father had replied with a photo of a bottle of wine and the words, "I'm already in the driveway, princess. Can't wait to have you back where you belong." I felt a wave of nausea so powerful I had to grip the edge of the counter to keep from collapsing. While I was sleeping 10 feet away, my father, the man who raised me, the man I called my hero, was sneaking into my home to be with my woman. They had shared jokes about my naivety, laughed about how easy it was to manipulate me, and exchanged dozens of messages where Elena told him how much she craved a real man with real power. The back door slid open, and the sound of the glass hitting the frame made me jump. My father walked in, looking tan, healthy, and disgustingly relaxed. He saw me holding his phone, and for a heartbeat, his expression didn't change. Then he saw the screen. He didn't rush over. He didn't apologize. He just sighed, reached into the fridge for a beer, and leaned back against the counter. "I suppose you were going to find out eventually, Leo," he said, his voice as calm as if he were discussing a dip in the stock market. I looked at him, truly looked at him, and realized I was looking at a predator. I asked him how he could do this, how he could look me in the eye every Sunday for dinner while he was destroying my life. My father just took a long sip of his beer and looked at me with a terrifying kind of pity. He told me, "Leo, some men are built to lead, and some are built to follow. Elena is a high-maintenance woman. She needs a level of security and strength you just don't have the stomach for yet. I didn't steal her from you. She chose the better version of the man she wanted." I wanted to scream, but the air felt like lead in my lungs. Just then, Elena walked down the stairs. She was wearing one of my old, oversized t-shirts, looking soft and vulnerable, the woman I had planned to propose to in 3 months. She saw us standing there, saw the phone in my hand, and the blood drained from her face. She didn't run to me. She didn't cry. She instinctively moved toward my father, stepping behind him as if he were her shield. "Is that what I am to you, Elena?" I asked, my voice cracking. "Practice run? A little prince you played with until you could move up to the king?" Elena looked at the floor, her voice a tiny, sharp needle. She said, "You were always so busy, Leo. You were always tired. Stephen makes me feel seen. He makes me feel like I don't have to carry everything alone." I reminded her that I was busy working 80-hour weeks to pay off our debts and save for a house. I reminded her that the strength she loved in my father was built on the inheritance he stole from my mother and the businesses he ran into the ground. My father laughed then, a sharp, cruel sound that filled the kitchen. He told me to stop being emotional and to be a man about it. He actually suggested that we could keep this within the family and that he would help me out financially if I just agreed to move out of the apartment quietly and let them be. He offered me a payoff to go away so his reputation wouldn't be tarnished by the scandal. That was when the last string of my restraint snapped. I didn't take the money. I took my phone out and hit send on an email I had drafted while scrolling through his texts. A mass BCC to our entire extended family, his business partners, and the board of the charity he chairs. I included the screenshots of the messages where they joked about my mother's death and the ones where he admitted to using company funds to pay for Elena's gifts. "What did you just do?" my father hissed, his face turning a mottled, angry purple as his own phone started buzzing incessantly with incoming calls. I told him I was just being strong like he taught me. I told him that since he loved having all eyes on him, ID made sure everyone was watching. Elena started to cry then, realizing that her secure future with a wealthy man was evaporating as his professional life went up in flames. She tried to grab my arm, sobbing that she made a mistake, that she was confused, but I pushed her away with a coldness that surprised even me. I told her to go sit on his lap and see if he could still take care of her when he was broke and disgraced. I walked out of that house and didn't look back. I drove for 6 hours, listening to the dozens of voicemails from my aunts, my cousins, and my father's lawyers. The family is in a total civil war. Half of them are horrified, but the other half, the ones who rely on my father's money, are telling me I'm a vindictive child who should have handled this with dignity. My father has threatened to sue me for everything I'm worth, and Elena has been texting me from burner numbers, begging for a conversation because my father kicked her out of the beach house the moment the board of directors asked for his resignation. She thought she was trading up, but she forgot that a man who will betray his own son will never be loyal to a mistress. I'm staying in a small rental now halfway across the country. I lost my girlfriend, my father, and the home I thought was mine. But every morning when I wake up, I don't feel like a little prince anymore. I feel like the only person in that family who isn't a ghost. My father and Elena are welcome to each other. They can sit in the wreckage of their connection and wonder which one of them will be the first to twist the knife in the other's back. I'm starting over, and for the first time in my life, I'm not living in anyone's shadow.